In this question, we are given a discrete distribution, a list of x's and frequencies. And our job is to find the mean of the discrete distribution. Now first, before we actually calculate the mean, let's verify that this is a discrete distribution. There are certain rules we have to follow for discrete distributions. First, the probabilities in the discrete distribution must be between 0 and 1. The second rule is that all the probabilities together must add to 1. So before we attempt to calculate the mean, let's first find the probabilities. Now remember that probability is frequency over the total. Well, first let's find the total. We'll go below all the frequencies and we'll add all the frequencies together. We'll use the formula equals sum of all of the frequencies. At this point, we open the parentheses and select the list and close the parentheses. When we press enter, we get 75 for our total. We'll paint that gold. Now let's remember that the total will always be 75 for this problem, and so the total is what we call a constant. However, since we have more than one frequency, we can say the frequency is a variable. So remember, for variables, we can enter them normally, but for constants, we need to put a $sign on the cell when we select it. This lets Excel know that that is a constant. So when we enter this, let's begin by putting a header, probability. And in cell C4, we will select the frequency, 12, from cell B4, and divide that by the total, which is 75. Now, in order to put $signs on that 75 to tell Excel that the 75 is a constant, we press F4 on our keyboard. This places a $sign before and after the B. We can use the black cross and copy the formula downward. At the bottom, we should have exactly 1 for our answer. If we get something other than 1, it's possible we've made a mistake somewhere along the line. This is in accordance with Rule 2. All the probabilities together must add to 1. For our next step, in order to find the mean, we're going to take the x times the p for each row. The x values are located in column A, and the probabilities are located in column C. So in column D, we'll type x times p for our label. We'll press equals, and now click on the x value in the same row, multiply the probability in the same row. A4 times C4. This will give us our x times p, and we can use the black cross to auto-complete that formula for each row. Once we've done that, we do a sum of all the x times p's. So once again, we go below to D9, and we say equals sum. And then we open the parentheses and select all of the numbers above, making sure not to select any words or letters. And so we get that our mean is 3.31. This will be our final answer for this problem. Once you've calculated the mean, you can also calculate the standard deviation of a discrete distribution, building on what we've done already. Our first step here, after we've already calculated the mean, is we're going to make a new column. In that new column, we will take x minus the mean. And we're going to do it for each row. We're going to call that the difference. So, column E, we'll type difference. We'll take x minus the mean. Now remember, X has multiple entries, so it is a variable. The mean has only one entry, so it will be a constant. And for constants, we must add the dollar signs on the cell. So when we calculate the difference, we'll say equals, click the X, subtract the mean. But press F4 to tell Excel there is only one mean, and it is always 3.31. Press Enter, and this gives us the difference. Use the black cross, and this will calculate all of the differences. Now for our second step. To continue this calculation, we take the difference squared, and then we multiply that times the probability. We'll do that in column F. So in the cell F3, we'll say difference. I'll abbreviate that with D for now. Raised to the second, multiply by P. Now, make sure we don't click on column D. The D stands for difference. So we're going to click on the difference, raise using Shift 6, and then second power, and then multiply by the probability. So it is E4 to the second power, multiply C4. Once again, we'll do this for every entry. At the bottom, we're going to add together all of the entries in column F. Once again, using the sum formula. We'll say equals SUM, open the parentheses, and select all of our numbers. This gives us 0.772622. This is called the variance. Our final step, if we know the variance, all we have to do is take the square root of variance to get the standard deviation. So we'll go below the variance. We'll say equals SQRT parentheses, and click on that number, close the parentheses, and this gives us our standard deviation, 0.879. This will be our final answer. So in order to get the standard deviation, we have to start with our work from the mean, find x minus mean to get the difference, and then take the difference squared times probability. We add them all up to get the variance, and then we take the square root of that to get the standard deviation.